What if I made an extreme demon made out of extreme demons? I know this idea sounds totally insane, and it actually kind of is. It will basically be a level in which each one of its parts is gonna be inspired on a certain extreme demon. Not only decoration, but gameplay wise as well. Since I got some level creating skills and nothing better to do, I am ready to make this project happen. And to start it off, I decided to make the first part of this ultimate extreme demon to be inspired on ACHERON, but the next ones will be decided by you. Anyways, let's see how it goes. To be honest with you, I have always found ACHERON to be a really simple level. Not only decoration, but gameplay wise as well. While a lot of other extreme demons have a lot of transitions and crazy stuff happening at the same time, ACHERON really reminds me from a 1.9 level, in which is way simpler than that. So for this gameplay, I will be making something really hard, but really simple at the same time. And of course, I want to keep the most iconic aspects of the level on it, such as the club step monster and the infamous arm spam. And within a blink of an eye, I was already done with this. And honestly, I think it is looking pretty good, to be honest, but not only by gameplay is a level made. Let's get the decoration started here. And at the beginning, I thought it would be pretty easy, since ACHERON is a really simple level, right? The first thing I made were the spikes, and as you can see, I really went for something really similar to the original version here. And then I proceeded to make the first club step monster of the level. Unfortunately, what I ended up making here was just a worse version from the original ACHERON monster, but with glow. To be honest, I didn't like how it looked that much, but I still kept making the level anyways. After making the structuring and a little bit of the air deco, I was not really happy with this part at all. See, I was succeeding on my objective to make a similar to ACHERON thing, but the thing is that it looks way too similar to it. I mean, I feel like I'm just making ACHERON, but with different gameplay, you know? And I mean, I wanted it to look like ACHERON, of course, but I also wanted to add a little bit of my style into it. So I decided to restart it from scratch. I still kept the spike though, cause they look sick, to be honest. Okay, so now I was 100% motivated to actually make something good here. So I started making the club step monster. But this time, I must say, I kinda cooked on it, to be honest. As you can see here, I made the color red to be a bit less saturated this time, and now I was actually revamping the original club step monster, other than just making a glowy version from it, you know. This time I actually added a lot of new details and a lot of different stuff on it in general, and seeing it now, I feel like I got exactly what I wanted with this. This doesn't really look like just ACHERON club step monster with glow. This actually looks like an ACHERON style club step monster with glow and some extra things, but we don't talk about that, okay? After making the monster, I started to make the block designs, and as you guys already know, ACHERON block designs have a lot of these pads on them for some reason. So I basically made a really basic structure and just pretty much spammed these details into it. And not gonna lie, it actually ended up looking really good, to be honest. Also, I know that the majority of ACHERON blocks don't have a 3D, but if you guys know me well, I am a 3D addict, so I can't just, you know, avoid it. Then I proceeded to make some small blocks on the part, just like those from ACHERON, and also I made some giant structures because that's what I do when I can't copy and paste blocks, you know. Then I proceeded to make some saws, and as you guys already know, I am actually terrible at making them. So I just kept them really simple as always and just spread them over the part just like that. After finishing the saws, I proceeded to make the rest of the air deco, and ACHERON air deco is something really interesting for me, to be honest. Like, the air deco from this level is actually really well done. It basically has a lot of things that we don't normally notice when we are playing it, such as some small background elements and some random stuff thrown in the midair. Those things add a lot to the level and to its 1.9 atmosphere, and replicating it isn't that hard. You just gotta put some fairly unnoticeable objects on the background and some random 1.9 air deco and you will achieve that, but you have to have a good sense of object distribution in order to do it well. So yeah, be careful if you're gonna add it to your levels, because if you don't know how to actually do it, your decoration is probably going to look like this. So yeah, I'm just gonna add some T3 glow here and the entire first section is basically done. After making it, it was time to actually start doing the second section, and for that I wanted to make something similar to the most iconic ACHERON part, it being that classic ship part surrounded by a lot of ground spikes and of course club step monsters. So I started making some club step monsters, of course. I was really undecided about how the face from the first club step monster would look like, so I tried to make a lot of weird things, as you can see here, but in the end I just made it to be a very usual angry face, and I made this other club step monster to be angry as well, because why not? The third one though is gonna be like he's neutral. Look at him, he's the protagonist from the anime, he has no feelings at all. And for the last one, I made him to be like that. I don't know, I was just really bored. After making their structures, I made a 3D because, as I've already said, I am addicted to it. I can't do anything about it, I'm sorry. After finishing the club step monster here, I made some saws, and to be honest, I think I'm getting better at doing them, I guess. And then I started making the ground spikes. I always liked how the ground spikes from ACHERON look like for some reason. I don't know, it's just the way they are made. Like, they have these small openings with a lot of decoration inside them. Honestly, I think that looks kinda sick. So I tried to make something similar to them on this remake. And as you can see here, I made a spike pillar, just like that one from ACHERON, because why not, you know? Making ground spikes has never been a hard thing for me, to be honest, so I managed to finish it very quickly. For the air deco, it won't be too different from the first part, you know? A lot of subtle details that make up to a really good 1.9 atmosphere. And for the last, I added a really low opacity T3 glow on this part, and I really thought it wouldn't fit, to be honest, but it actually ended up looking pretty good. In some days I will be making a voting poll on my community section to decide the next extreme demon that we'll be adding to this level. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm hyped to see who the youth made extreme demon will be choosing to be his next victim.